Hello everyone, and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls 2 PvP and another weapon showcase. This time I am using Darkdrift, which you can get from Grave Warden Agdane in the Undead Crypt. In order to receive this weapon from him, you need to be wearing the King's Ring, and apparently, if you actually get one from him and then proceed to kill him, you can purchase an additional Darkdrift from the Hag Merchant in Majula. So I'm not exactly sure if that's true or not, but that's something worth looking into. So, getting started with Darkdrift. This is a pretty cool weapon. It is nearly invisible, and I really like that about it. It's really cool looking if you're a host. If you are an invader, well, it does have a red glow around the blade, and that makes it a lot more visible. Really doesn't make the effect as good. But anyway, getting started. Darkdrift requires 12 strength and 28 dexterity. It has no strength scaling, and it has an A scaling in dexterity. The physical base damage of this weapon is 230, and with 40 dexterity, the attack rating on this is 350 with a Ring of Blades plus 2, so without it, that is an attack rating of 300. The counter strength of this weapon is 130, the poise damage is 15 per hit, and the weight is 3 units. Now, if you check the description of this weapon, it says that it has shield-piercing R2s, and it does. It does work very well. Of course, like all shield-piercing R2s, it doesn't deal the full damage of the weapon through the shield, but it still does a significant portion of it. Now, with this weapon, I had a very, very difficult time landing its one-handed R2s. Those delayed thrusts, they are very unreliable in PvP, because all the person you're fighting against has to do is run a little bit to the side, walk a little bit to the side, and, you're completely going to miss them, so I really didn't find them to be very reliable. Now, the two-handed R2s, on the other hand, those are truly fantastic. This weapon is actually very good at doing combos, and that's something I didn't expect from a katana. When you see people using a katana, for the most part, they're just, R1 spamming all day long. But with this weapon, you can actually pull off some pretty good combos. The what was it? Not the R1, not the R2s, but the R1s. The R1s are good, but the R2s, when you do them, you can actually do a guaranteed hit sort of combo with them. So it's just R2, R2, that's a guaranteed hit, throw in a jumping attack, and then another R1. It's entirely possible, and it works very reliably, surprisingly. And that was a good parry he just got on me. Now, I would have to say that the biggest pro of this weapon would, of course, be that comboing ability, because being able to chain up 4 hits is always a good thing. Excuse me. Usually most weapons in this game, they've got a guaranteed 2-hit combo, and that's good and all. This weapon has a guaranteed 2-hit combo as well, but being able to easily chain in another 2 hits or more, that's always a fantastic thing for a weapon to have. So, the biggest con of this weapon, I would have to say, would be the damage output. Now, despite the fact that it does have such a low attack rating, 350 really is not fantastic, I'm still able to hit 500s relatively consistently with the R2 attacks, but that being said, against people who are more heavily armored than my friends, it's not going to do nearly as well. But of course it does make up for that in terms of swing speed and combo ability and moveset in general and all of that good stuff. Now, I would have to say that the other pros and cons of the weapon, they're just basically the standard katana pros and cons. There's really nothing unique to the weapon other than the shield piercing ability and how easily this thing can combo. And of course the shield piercing ability, as I said earlier in the video, it does do decent damage through the shield, but it of course does not do the full damage of the weapon. So that being said, it's not something you want to rely on. Of course though, if you do have someone who is very low on health and they are, using a Havel's shield and trying to just turtle back and get away from you, you can easily pull out this weapon, go for an R2, take them out, and they won't have any idea what's going on. So that's always a good thing to do. Other than that though, the last pro of the weapon that I could actually think of would be the weight. This thing only weighs 3 units, and that is very light for a katana. I believe all of the other katanas, the minimum that those weigh, are at least 6 units. So this is a very, very light weapon, more on the level of weight for a straight sword or a curved sword class weapon instead of a katana. So that's always a good thing as well. definitely a good option for those who are low on equipment load, you know. So, anyway, this is actually the last fight. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, found it helpful in one way or another. Please like, subscribe, and all of that good stuff, and I will see you guys next time.